So this afternoon we got some more of the LECENTÈ Glitters, and I thought I'd have a bit of fun with them this time, so it's taken me a little bit longer to get time to put this together, but I thought I'd have a play around with some of the glitters and what I do with these swatches. So this first glitter is actually one of the pigment powders, so this is the Aurora Stardust, and I'm putting that over top of Sundance from IBD. I thought they looked like they were quite matchy-matchy. So as usual, just pressing it in. And then I always try and dust off the excess back into the container. And then I'm going to rub these in with my finger. Finger cots on. Keep you safe from overexposure. Give it a quick rub. This is so pretty and shimmery. I really love the pigment powders. And then a quick little top coat. So sparkly. So there you go, that's Sundance. So the next one is the Lunar Stardust glitter, which is a beautiful deep gold, and I've chosen to put it over Plum Raven from IBD this time. I thought being so gold, it'd be nice to see it over something really dark, but not quite black. So Plum Raven seemed like a suitable choice. So I've decided to go with my smaller brush this time. So as you can see, just pressing it in really firmly. Now I'm just going to fade this one up, so I've changed to my bigger brush so I can get a bit more of a fade on. I'm still brushing back as much of the excess as I can, and I'm brushing really firmly to really press that pigment powder into the adhesion layer. And then top coat. So you can just see that really deep purple, and that gold is amazing. It almost looks like it's gold plated. Very cool. So the second one I'm doing, I've chosen Bardot Indigo as the colour, and this is the Ember Fireworks Glitter. Now this time I've used a tip strip here, and I've popped that on to the tip, and I'm going to try and do just a nice pattern in it, but rather than your average fade or just a cover, I thought I'd go with a pattern. Now these are a wee bit fiddly to work with on these little tip things. They don't really stay on, so you've kind of almost got to hold it in place. And press really firmly with the glitter. So I'm just going to press that into place and make sure that's really well covered, because I do want to get as sharp a line as I possibly can. So wiping it off pretty firmly, get as much of the excess glitter off as I can, try and press it down as hard as I can while the tip strip's still on there. And then I'm just going to take that off. And it's reasonably sharp, but I wouldn't mind a little more definition on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a liner brush, and I'm just going to line that with a little bit of black gel. So just to make sure that it's nice and detailed. So I'm just going to use a gel for this. They cure nice and quick, and I don't have to worry about smudging. So I'm just going to put a quick line in here. And make sure they're nice and even. So as you can see, one side looks slightly thicker than the other, so I'll just even that up a wee bit. Make sure that matches up nicely. And then cure that, and then I'll top coat the whole lot together. So that's cured and top coated. So shiny. Very sparkly. Yay! So this time I am using Heart of the Ocean, which is a really nice navy blue. It's probably one of the darker ones I've got. And the glitter is the Gold Ultra Fine. So this is a real gold, so quite a deep yellow. I find that these sort of golds are not my favourite. I find them a little bit hard to use. They're almost a wee bit brassier than I like, but they're fantastic for Christmas time, and lots of people really like gold, true gold, so always got to have them in hand. So this one, I want to see how it covers on the dark cover, so I've actually done the fade really high, so it's mostly glitter, but just a hint of the blue peeping through at the top. So that's covered really nicely. If I hadn't have left the blue at the top, you probably wouldn't really have been able to see that there was blue underneath it, which is quite cool. It means that it's a really good cover. So the next one I'm using is Naturally Beautiful, and this one's actually my favourite. This is Sand Ultrafine Glitter. Now this is more of a champagne-y gold, so this one is really me. I think I will probably use this one a lot. This sort of champagne is my absolute favourite. And I picked Naturally Beautiful to go underneath it because it's a nice, almost vintagey rosy colour. Really pretty, flat as most skin. And this time, I'm going to have a bit of fun with it. I'm actually going to do a freehand French. So, as if I was doing this on a client, I'm just going to really carefully press that glitter in. I'm using my smaller brush again, because I find there's a little bit more control with that one. Again, you've got to be really careful with making sure that you get that glitter in place. Make sure your brush has always got glitter on it whenever it comes into contact with the nail, otherwise you take off the adhesion layer and there's nothing for the glitter to stick to. So try and make sure we've got loads of glitter on it, and try and get a really sharp line, as kind of sharp as you can. So I just dust off some of the excess. Now this one's a little bit harder to press in, so work on getting that pressed in. And I'm just going to use a firmer brush just to clean up that adhesion layer so that if any of the glitter moves it won't stick to it. So I'm just using a little, it's actually a brow brush, this one, with a little bit of cleanser on it just to clean off that adhesion layer. That way I don't have to worry about anything sticking to it. And just get some top coat on there and cure. So the next one is Gerber Daisy. And again, this is the last of the ultrafine glitter that I got in this package. So this is the silver. I thought the silver and the pink would really pop. So we're just going to play around with a little fade on this one. I like silver. Silver's a really popular colour, so I get a lot of people that want silver. Don't know why. I wear a lot of gold myself, so I like gold, but I like champagne-y gold. So there you go, it's a nice fade over the hot pink. Now I'm moving through these quite quickly this time because I'm aware that the last one took quite a bit. So this time I've got IBD Whipped Cream, and the glitter over the top is the Sweetie Pie Multi-Glitz Glitter. So lots of blues in this one, blues and silvers, really pretty. This, I think if you did this really light, you could probably get quite a sort of almost frozen effect now. So I'm going to go for full cover on this one this time round, and I'm not going too hardcore with it, so you can actually see the white still through it. I find that these ones probably don't cover as well as, say, the ultra fine. They tend to leave gaps, so you do have to be a bit more aware of what colour you put underneath it. So I've just brushed that off quite firmly. These ones seem to be a little bit messier to use, but it's not too bad. So I've just pressed that in, and I'll just press it down with my finger. These ones tend to sit up a wee bit more than any of the others, so pressing them down is a really good idea. The Multi-Glitz has quite a lot of the bigger particles in it, so that's pretty. Now this is the Baby Doll Multi-Glitz Glitter, and I'm just using it over the IBD Black Lava. I really wanted this one to pop on the black. And this is kind of a rose gold. This is really pretty. This, I think, is going to be another one of my favourites. And I've just used my small brush because I wanted a fade, but with the bigger glitter particles, fades on these are always going to be a little bit trickier. Totally doable, but yeah, I find the smaller brush works better. And that is a stunning rose gold. It is so pretty with a holographic glitter in it. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm probably going to use that one a lot. So this time I've gone for Viking Winter, which is a really deep IBD grey. Really like that. And to contrast it, I've gone with the Raspberry Holographic Glitter. So this looks really pretty in the bottle, so I can't wait to see it open. And I think the grey and the pink will work really nicely together. So this one I've decided to do as a full cover. So I'm just going to really carefully go on with my big brush. Kind of got to be aware that I've got adhesion layer on all the other nails, so just got to be a little bit careful when I'm working. So I'm just going to go right to the end. I want to see how well the holographic covers over such a dark colour. Oh, that looks amazing. I love all of the holographic glitters. They are so pretty. Just amazing. As soon as you hit them with top coat, the sparkle is just incredible. So that is gorgeous. So the next one I've got is Sundance and the Pumpkin Iridescent Glitter. I'm a real fan of corals and oranges. They don't look good on me, but I like them. I think they're really pretty. So this one I'm going to do another freehand, and this time I'm going to do a diagonal swish of glitter across the end. So if I was doing it on a client, I would do this on the free edge of the nail, so probably at the opposite end. But for the purposes of this, I thought this was actually just an easier way to do it. So I've used my small brush, and I'm being really careful to make sure I've got my brush really well loaded. So I'm using quite a bit of glitter on there to make sure it all sticks and I get a nice straight even edge. It's always hard to get an even edge with glitter, so you've kind of just got to get close enough, but you can actually get pretty close with these. I'm impressed at how straight the line is and how filled in it is, as opposed to being gappy and a little bit hard to see the definition of with some of the other brands. So that's super shiny and kind of subtle. So the next one I'm going to do is IBD Sweet Melody, and I'm going to use the Coral Iridescent Glitter. And as you can see, I've pre-prepared some striping tape. Now this was really fun to put on, but what I wanted, the effect I wanted to get was something just a bit subtle, but still a bit fun. So I went with quite a fine striping tape, and I've put on several pieces horizontally across the nail. Now it doesn't matter if it doesn't stick, because it only needs to stay there till you get the glitter on. So you've just got to press the glitter on really gently, kind of straight up and down. Try not to drag it too much, otherwise you could get your tape moving. But once you've got the glitter onto it, you've got a bit more flexibility. So you just get as much as you can on, press it in as much as you can. And then you should be right to actually take that striping tape off. This is where I find striping tape can be a bit of a menace, is actually trying to get rid of it. But it has such a pretty effect. So it may be a little bit hard for you to see, but that's actually given some really beautiful clean lines. So I'm just going to top coat that. And you've got beautiful subtle stripes. I love this. Much more obvious in person than in the video. But as you can see, the lines are there. They're perfectly straight and clear. They've come up awesome. Love it. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm doing my stripes the other way. Now, this is probably a little bit lower contrast than I would have liked. I chose Titanium Dream, and this is actually the red holographic glitter. Now, I thought this might have been brighter, but it actually looks a little bit darker than I expected. It looks very like the pink, but I'm assured it's red, so let's go with it. Now, because I've done my stripes vertical instead of horizontal this time, I can actually press a little bit firmer, so I can actually do a better job of wiping off the glitter. and then pressing it down. So once my striping tape's clean, I know I've probably pressed down the glitter enough that it's good. So don't forget the ends. Always make sure you peel the ends first and peel them carefully. Striping tape, you're so much fun. Not. But it's given me some beautiful clean lines. It definitely has the desired effect. If you want clean lines, the LECENTÈ Glitters definitely give you that, especially with striping tape. It's easy to see now, so it'll be interesting to see how subtle it gets once I add the top coat, because that always makes everything shinier. And I think I chose too much metallic for this one. I think I possibly should have chosen something a bit darker, or maybe not a holographic for that. But they're still pretty. They're so shiny. And I really like the coverage on them. I think the coverage is probably one of their biggest draw cards. Definitely worth the money. These are some of my favourite glitters. And especially if you're doing tricksy things like with the striping tape, they have been super effective. Much more effective than any of the other glitters I've tried. I'm really happy with the results on these. I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of them. Thanks, LECENTÈ.